Hello everyone, my name is Sky Boshin, and today I'm going to be discussing a SANE exam, which is a sexual assault nursing examination, which is also more commonly known as a rape kit. So, trigger warning before I begin this video because I'm going to be going into my personal experience with having a rape kit done and going through that whole process, which oftentimes is very re-traumatizing, and a lot of people don't understand what the process is like, why someone gets a rape kit, why it's important. So I'm also going to be doing a video in the future about why getting a rape kit is critical. So stay tuned for that as well. When I was 17 years old, I graduated high school a year early. So I was 17 at the start of my freshman year of college. And during that time, I was making friends. I lived in the dorms. And I was very happy there. I very much was enjoying my schooling, trying to get my bachelor's in sociology. And unfortunately, I came across an individual who I thought was a good person because they were friends with friends of mine, but was not, and made a series of decisions that caused me a lot of pain and caused me to have to undergo a rape kit. And I have made videos about my sexual assault in college, so I will more discuss the rape kit in this video. But ultimately, my perpetrator was 19 years old and I'm 17, but in the state that I was in, which is Missouri, that's not statutory because the 17-year-old is able to consent. However, it was not consensual because I was blackout drunk and the perpetrator was not, and was aware of my state of mind at that point. I didn't tell my parents until a couple days after my rape because I needed time to process it, and at first I didn't even acknowledge it as rape because that word was so scary to me, and I know that that's the case for a lot of survivors that I've talked to since becoming an advocate for sexual assault victims. And I actually had my perpetrator come over while I had someone hiding in the bathroom to ensure my safety, where he then admitted to what he did, and that is when I finally really acknowledged that I had been raped and decided to tell my parents, and my mother brought me to an urgent care where I was met with a nurse who I explained what happened to me to, and luckily that nurse had previously been a SANE nurse, so a sexual assault nursing examiner, and she had switched from doing that to working at an urgent care, so she had a lot of knowledge on rape kits and was able to inform me that I had two choices at that point. I could either get the physical exam that I was requesting at urgent care because I just wanted to ensure that my body was safe, because after my rape I was bleeding for days, and it wasn't because I was on my menstrual cycle. That was not the case. It was from trauma to my body. And she said that I could either get that physical exam, but that physical exam would take away any evidence that I could use later on to file a report. And when I learned that information, I realized that I did have an option to go and report this to the police, and maybe I could get justice. But I had also been through the criminal justice system previously for another case where I was a victim, and knew that the system is not victim friendly. So I was very hesitant and finally made the decision to go to the ER, where I was met by someone from a Metropolitan Organization to Counter Sexual Assault in Missouri, and that advocate brought me over to the same nurse, who then started the examination and collected information from me. I had to give a narrative statement of very specific details of what I remembered from the rape, and that was really difficult because I was blackout drunk, so I had little to no memory of what occurred, and that slowly came back to me through therapy and through time and healing. For a while I had a lot of blanks in my memory from that time. So once I finished my narrative section, which took like a half hour, I would say, she took pictures of just my body against the door frame. I brought with me my clothes and my bed sheets that I had worn that day in brown paper bags, because I saw that on a TV show. And I was able to give that to the nursing examiner, and she then brought that to the evidence lab, as well as all of the swabs that she collected from my body. Getting a rape kit is extremely invasive because your body is the evidence, and your entire body has to be looked at and examined and swabbed. And it's a really difficult experience, especially when you just went through a big violation of your body, to then go through another violation of your body, to be able to get any form of justice. And the entire experience took 3 hours. They do a very thorough job. I think the hardest part for me was having to experience the speculum, which is not allowed to be lubricated because that can interfere with the evidence. And for pelvic exams, usually they lubricate, but they're unable to do that in these cases. And as a 17-year-old, I had never had a pelvic exam, so I didn't even know what to expect. Luckily, I had an advocate who was there, who left before the exam because I asked, based off of my request, because I felt very embarrassed about the entire situation. And she recommended that I listen to music, and the SANE gave me a little stress ball that I was holding as I was experiencing the whole physical exam, which was very painful. And they also have to pluck hairs. And it's not just plucking like 5 hairs, it's plucking 100 from different parts of your body. So 100 pubic hairs, 100 leg hairs, it's 100 hairs from your head. It's extremely invasive, and a lot of people don't understand how incredibly re-traumatizing having a rape kit is. But I knew I wanted to get it because I wanted to be able to have hard evidence that I could show and say out loud, he raped me, I have evidence to prove it. Then unfortunately a lot happened with my rape kit, and it was never tested, and it is lost, as far as my knowledge, through the research that I've done. And so unfortunately my rape kit was not useful, and those 3 hours of pain and agony didn't help my criminal case in any way. I was told that even with the rape kit, the defense could argue that I liked rough sex, And hearing that was one of the biggest blows for me. And this was around COVID time. So I had to move out of the dorms, and to have an adult man tell you that the whole defense could just portray you as this person who likes rough sex rather than a victim of sexual assault was absolutely heinous in my eyes. And unfortunately that happens to so many people, but rape kits are still so important to a lot of cases, especially cases in which the perpetrator is an unknown person. But rape kits are also extremely frustrating. I'm in the process of reading Saving Five, which is a memoir from Amanda, and it's brilliant and really amazing. So I highly recommend going and watching or reading this book. But going through that experience and then being able to hear about other people's experiences with SANEs and rape kits, and understanding that the system is deeply flawed on a large scale, is difficult but also validating in a way. And I will make more videos about this in the future, but today in this video I really just wanted to share my own personal story. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I appreciate you. If you or anyone that you love has experienced anything like this, I just want to say that you're not alone, and you're loved, and you will get through this.